Hello, everyone. Welcome to Somae Society. I'm Bonnie Sunshine, the Archer, and we are just feeling the slowness of the space weather today. How you doing over there, you?
That is for darn sure. As you can see, I am literally coming to you from a bed. Um, I just got off of a really incredible and amazing weekend. I did a live performance style channeling, which I'm calling dynamic channeling. And it was absolutely incredible. And I was there through the weekend at a festival with my children as well. So I am really low and slow, think like molasses style energy. That said, that doesn't stop the space weather. The space weather is still coming in and it's still here and it's still got some really incredible stuff to share with us this week. Holistically, is build what lasts through gentle power. And I love that for a holistic thing. Build what lasts through gentle power. I feel like I'm really in that state right now, personally. Like, really in that state, personally. Is I've seen the patterns, I've witnessed the patterns, I've acknowledged the patterns, and I'm still dropping those patterns away. And I've made a commitment to myself that I'm not just going to bounce back out and do the same old thing all over again and burn out and then go back into crazy work mode, that I'm going to build something new from sustainability. And Bonnie, I saw you nodding your head over there. What do you Willow? What do you and Willow have to think about this theme this week?
I also presented over the weekend. I did an inner signals course in person on Sunday, and Willow is helping me. um, that theme was resonant with probably half the people who came. So everyone's feeling that also need for grace for the self in this new time where they're bringing in something that they haven't done in a specific way before, this new way, because they're different. And it feels strange to a lot of people.
Hey, man, I've been through this. I have had so many ego deaths. I have gone through so many transformations. And the thing is I still feel weird, right? Like I have done this so many times and I still feel weird. And yeah, so if people are feeling a little off kilter out there, I would say it's pretty darn normal. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you. And you're fucking awesome. And you're really, really doing a great job. I want to send out a huge thank you for those that are joining us here live, joining us and putting some comments and whatnot in the chat. Please use that comment box. That's what we're here for. This is one of the big bonuses of getting to join live. That and the after hours party, which we always have a really good time with that. And I also want to welcome everybody that's watching this on replay right now. If you are watching this on replay on YouTube, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Oh my God, I just said smash that like button. Oh,
Good, good job. I was laughing over here inside.
and I love Willow just staring intently into the camera. Like she's like, sis, did you really just say that? Oh my gosh, it's so bad good.
It's
So
really
let's
funny because
let's
yeah, she's looking in the direction that my messages usually come from.
Mhm.
So she's like on it today.
She's super space weather kitty today.
Yeah, look at her.
Awesome. Do you want to kind of dig into some of this holistic theme for the week and go a little bit more into detail?
I would love to. I just want to share. I am drinking lemon. Oh my gosh, words. My brain just went, what are you drinking? Lemon salt water. It's what I'm drinking today. And this is helping me hydrate. Um, I'm also feeling stuffy today. So that helps me get things moving in my body.
And maybe I need to have some of that because right now I'm just downing as much water as I can. I woke up so dehydrated and allergies are kicking hard and no does a willow.
Mm.
So let's dig into some of this theme for this week specifically. What I found really interesting when I was really kind of looking at things, I came across, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, the Sabina uh, images that are linked to astrology. I've got to dig more into it, and I'll give you some updates on that as I dig more into it and go into research mode over that. But the big thing was partnership is meeting discipline. Transformation becomes sustainable, and warrior softens without losing strength. So I don't even know what that means. My brain is
Mm.
completely non operational right now, you guys. Like, I have no idea what that means right now, which is totally okay. Um, Essentially, what's happening is we've got Saturn and Pluto creating an opportunity for sustainable power building. And this is happening through March 28th. This Sabian symbol reminds you that appreciating another's perspective, this was the thing that got me. Appreciating somebody else's perspective will actually help to expand you. So if you can find somebody that's offering you a different perspective than the way that you normally look at things, take them up on that offer. Please take them up on that offer. It will be very beneficial to you. We've got Venus and Mercury shifting. It signs March 30th, which we'll go over that a little bit later. And we've got gate 17 and gate 21 coming through, and those are teaching you how to master and manage your energy accordingly. It's so weird how spot on this stuff is in my own personal life. I don't know if it's happening. Like, let me know. Is like, are these major themes for you throughout the week when we start speaking about them? So right now, like partnership and energy mastery, let me know in the comments if these are hitting you, whether you're watching this on replay or you're watching this here live, because the themes really seem to be centered around me, and that feels very narcissistic.
I want to
So
go back to that first part if you feel good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, go
you
ahead.
were saying you don't know what that means. Can you read that first one again?
Yeah, but it's interesting because the ground in practice is appreciate someone else's viewpoint this week. Let their perspective expand yours without losing your center. Um, so partnership meets discipline, transformation becomes sustainable, and the warrior softens without losing strength. And with how foggy my brain is, Bonnie, it's feeling like intangible, right? So I love that you
Yes.
pulled out the cards to bring some tangibility to it. Is that even a word?
And
I don't know.
yeah.
We've got in the comments, yeah, spot on, as well as the idea of listening to somebody else's perspective. Okay, thanks, you guys. I just sometimes I need to be like confirmed that I'm not crazy, right? Like we all need that confirmation. I need it
For
sometimes too.
sure.
What do you got
Absolutely.
card wise, babe?
Well, I want to speak into that. You don't really know what that means. And I've been through that specific piece of the warrior, and I don't even know what the word was again. It's either softening or surrender, and I'm hearing both. And I've been through that. It's for me, it was taking my energetic knives that I carried on my person, and I had to put them away so that me as the warrior was no longer fighting with knives out. Every time anybody would come into my space, I was no longer, it took me a very long time, and I kept finding energetic knives in different places that I was carrying as defense mechanisms and protection, laying the weapons down and being a warrior in a way that was not war first.
Hmm. I'm
And that's what that
cracking
was
up.
giving me.
I'm cracking up over here because mine is let me sharpen my blades even sharper, right? Let me get my blades as sharp as humanly possible so when I do cut someone, it doesn't hurt, right?
Mm.
Like it hurts as
Mm.
little as humanly possible. So maybe I'm at the place where I need to just lay down the knives completely. God, I don't want to be
Mhm.
that much of a hippie, you guys.
I I think for me it was laying them down, the ones I no longer needed, and putting the ones back in a new place. And that's the same practice I do when I do energetic cord cutting, where I will remove the cords, take everything off, reset my system, and allow myself to make choices about where the cords go back, if they go back to the same places, if they are different size, texture, shape, color, energetics, or if they simply go away.
Yeah, see, I when I do my cord cuttings, it's all gone. I don't reattach anything. It's like let
Mm,
me come from a 0 point, but again, it's that's kind of my part in this is being the void. It's like let me constantly go to the blank slate, blank slate, blank slate, blank slate. So it sounds like it might be another blank slate time for me, which is totally okay with. God, I love a good blank slate.
yeah, and this is where that grace comes back in so that we aren't looking to judge ourselves for where we are. And that newness has an opportunity to be fostered for ourselves. And that's where that mirror of someone else coming in, giving the different perspective, telling us who we are, telling us to remember, giving us information that reminds us just how magical and fabulous we are, where we can't always see that when we're in that chaos.
Yeah. It's what's coming in is also student mode. Like this is also a time for like student mode. So like
Mm.
if you get yourself into a place or if I get myself into a place of like knowing like well this is how it's always been, right? We know like that's one of like the traps of all of everything. Well, it's always been that way. It doesn't have to be, right?
Yeah.
Like and the way to kind of circumvent that would be being in the place of like that mode, being in that place of getting the slate wiped clean again, and like you were saying, Bonnie, like just really being open to having others reflect the beauty of yourself.
I love that. And these are the
So
cards that came in.
what do
So
we
it
got
it's
here?
it's the seven, and this is
Oh,
the red border, so physical, but it came in upside down. So
patience and planning. Hmm.
it may feel like you don't have stability because your columns have shifted. And then the other one that came in is destiny.
Ooh, we have look, there is new cards. This deck does have more than 7 cards. Incredible.
And look at
So
all the
we've got
versions of you are.
oh, gosh, that's incredible. I mean, it makes me think of like the fragmented self. We've been talking a lot about that in a lot of my friend groups recently, is kind of the fragmented self and how pieces of you can get chipped away through, trauma or experiences or past things. And we're all just in this kind of most of us are in this wanting to bring ourselves into further integration. Yeah, I like that there's two like little ghost versions of her down there too.
Right?
Oh, that's so cool.
So they both
What
came in
numbers are we
upside
on?
down. So this is 7 and 10.
So
So
we're at a
it,
17, which is 8, which is then abundance,
mhm.
infinity, everything. And they both
And
came in upside down.
they
It's
both came in upside
interesting.
down.
It's what's coming in really clearly, and I really want to state this very loudly for some reason. I kind of want to scream it. Just because things come in the reverse does not mean that they are of the shadow, does not mean that they are negative. It's just an availability to shift your own perspective, right? We're talking about perspective this week and listening to somebody else's perspective. So if you see cards come up in the reverse, I've seen people freak out in tarot readings, right? That like,
Mm,
oh, that's in the reverse and that's like it's going to be terrible and it's going to be bad and it's like that's not the case, guys. Like it's just a chance of like, you know, or oracle decks that like stated as like, oh, this is a warning period. It's like using like inflammatory terms like that just kind of gets my goat a little bit.
Yeah, this is just as for me, what I was hearing is you may feel like things are upside down.
What I like is that it looks like a hallway to me. The number looks like a little
Yes.
person walking into like this portal, this high hallway. Oh my gosh. And we've got one of our expert tarot card readers coming up in here saying reverse shows us what could be and can give us tasks to make it up right. They see reverses as lessons. I love that. Thank you for that restructuring. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And then
that's incredible.
are you getting something with the destiny? Should I put it upside down?
Yeah, let me see with the destiny. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's hitting my yoni really, really hard, especially that green center area. Can you pop it back up so I can see as you're looking? Do you have,
This
can
is
you grow an extra arm, Bonnie, please? That would be great.
I wanted to say this is the Wheel of Fortune in traditional tarot.
Yeah, so what's interesting though that's coming out is almost this reverse shape that I'm getting. Do you see this with the green? That
Yes.
it's almost like this cloaked, like hidden, like wisdom center is what I'm getting from that. I'm getting like old wise women. Gosh, the grandmothers are coming in again. The grandmothers have been very loud recently. Yeah, right down there. And she is that form right there in that green is the culmination of all of those pieces. And it turns into this like incredible light body. If you can flip it back over. Yeah, because the head is there, right? The head is in the center.
Mm.
I've been trying to connect. We just got in the chat, been trying to connect with the grandmothers lately. Yeah, they've been coming in quite loud recently. Yeah, very loud for sure. Keep seeing them
Mm.
everywhere. So when the grandmothers come in, what I take that is, this symbology wise, is a great chance for wisdom, and deeper wisdom than what you even have. Like this, like the grandmothers to me are bone and blood. They are deep ancestral wisdom, like like at the very core of things. Yeah.
I love that. I what when I turned it upside down and you were talking about it, I realized it's giving me like fountain vibes. And for me, I have often felt like I don't have access to my internal waters related to my womb. And I've had quite a few sessions where practitioners would tell me that it feels like a bog, like really swampy. And um, for me, originally I was getting the message of it being um, not healthy, but bogs can be very healthy. It just wasn't giving me the life and vitality that my yoni or sacral space or womb being filled with my own well water. So this is giving me like fountain vibes.
So I love you saying that because I love nature. Like that was what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to be a scientist. And what the picture just came to mind that a stagnant swamp is not a healthy swamp, right? When we box the swamp in on all sides, so it becomes this stagnant cesspool, that's unhealthy. But a healthy swamp is in constant flow, it's in constant motion, right? There's water that's always going through. So you can always, if you go, I grew up in Florida, if you go down to the Everglades, you can see, or down to Louisiana in the US, you can see what a healthy swamp looks like. And then you can go and see what a really unhealthy swamp looks like because of development or whatnot. So I think that's really, really good. You okay switching tracks and transitioning over to the human design for this week?
Yes, give it to us.
We've got two transits that are happening right now, babe. So we've got human design gate 17. Now, this is the gate of following, it's the gate of opinions. If we're playing in the quantum field, it's the gate of anticipation. And that gate is coming online. I believe it is the 25th. Oh, where's my book? It did not. Yeah, let me see. Here we go. Yeah, 25th, and then the 30th, we've got gate 21 coming in. And gate 21 is the hunter biting through. What a fucking name is that? The hunter biting through. If we're looking at the quantum name for this, it is self regulation. So both of these gates kind of operating near and in the same week is going to be forming logical opinions, recognizing patterns, right? Like that's the gate of anticipation, seeing what could be, right? And it's funny because somebody in the chat just said that. Where is it that, okay, that the grandmothers are weaving a way forward for us, a more positive future for us, right? That is literally the gate of anticipation that is going to be happening this week. And then gate 21 is going to be all about like heart, ego, willpower, resources. This is all the controlling, managing resources, biting through obstacles. Interesting. What is it? Thoraz, Thorazy, the rune that is the thorn rune, which is also seen, I think, as Thor's hammer, which breaks through. It's the breaking through of obstacles is what's coming through for this one. This is like literally breaking through obstacles, and we're going to be seeing this on March 30th and onward. And when it comes out of this, and when we go into the quantum realm with this, it's going to be self regulation. This is going to be sovereign authority for you. And if you would like a practice for this, a great practice for this is notice what you might be in anticipation of for the week. Notice if it's coming from a place of fear or if it's coming from a place of anything other than fear, just literally anything other than fear, right? Just notice where it's coming from, right? It could be coming from fear. It could be coming from anger. It could be coming from sadness. It could be coming from joy. It could be coming from excitement. And all of these are correct. There's nothing wrong with any of them. Just noticing where that anticipation is coming from, where those future thoughts are seated, like where are those future thoughts rooted in. And then on March 30th, a really great little practice for March 30th would be to set one boundary for yourself that proves that you control your own energy. Okay. Bonnie, you want to give us a practical on this? Because I'm trying to think of something practical for me, but I am so in the freaking swamp. I'm like, I don't want to set boundaries. I just want to eat cake all day.
Yes, I do. This actually came up the last couple days. So first, I pulled from the Yantra deck and got awareness. And so this ties directly into what you're saying. A yantra meditation brings a heightened awareness to your visual world. Savor color, shape, and form as they present themselves to you during the day. And I'm part of a challenge this week where I'm attending. And the ask was to begin, or what was the ask? The ask was to say the miracle that you are looking for. And what I realized is that I was trying to plan what I could do so that the miracle would happen versus saying what I really wanted from the miracle. And that is exactly the practice that might be helpful to people in that noticing where your thoughts are coming up and being able to inspect them from a different perspective versus trying to push through them or um, or necessarily make sense of them. What we're really doing is taking time to sit with the self, be in the present moment, and allow the images, messages, colors, thoughts, what was the other, shapes and forms to present themselves to us so that we aren't trying to suppress them or that our focus isn't going into that fear or one other area that may always be pulling at us or maybe pulling at us in this time. So from a practical perspective, it's taking even just 3 to 5 minutes and sitting with the self and noticing and allowing any emotions, energetics, messages to come through the body and not try. You don't have to tune everything out, but when we allow them to pass through, they don't have that control on us. And boundaries are around time, space, like physical location, um, mental, energetic. Is there another one? So it may be as simple as naming the other fields, the other types of boundaries, uh, so that you can figure out, is there a boundary in another space that you may not be thinking of?
Hmm. Awesome. Thanks, babe, so much for that. It's funny because I was while you were talking, I was also reviewing the next big portion, and guess what the practice is for this one, which is Saturn is sextile Pluto, and this is happening on March 28th. Is saying start one new structure, routine, or commitment
So funny.
that supports your long-term transformation. So this is very much like where, like, okay, so I'm gonna bring it in here. Oh my God, I'm gonna get real vulnerable here, guys. So I weighed myself last night. I haven't weighed myself in a while, and I am at my highest weight that I have been at in probably about 5 years. And I feel it. My whole body feels it. I feel like crap. And I like that's been a pattern of mine, like the eating well, like the not eating well and going through it. And I know eating well supports my body and makes me happy, but it's getting more and more detrimental to my health. So like that's probably going to be like the 30th for me. Yes, it's we've got somebody else's in here as well, and I know, like I know all the things to do. I've worked with a top level, incredible nutrition coach. Like I have, like I've got all the things I need to do, but for some reason, it's it gets difficult for me. Right? It's one of those patterns for me. Um, and so, yeah, it's that'll probably be the commitment that I'm making to myself starting on the 30th or maybe even sooner because it's wrecking my system.
Mm.
Well, let's move into this Saturn sextile Pluto. So this a Saturn sextile Pluto, the exact influence is going to be March 27th through March 29th, right? We're looking at Saturn is going to be in Aries, which is all structure, discipline, reality, maturity. Pluto is all about transformation, right? This is the death and rebirth. This is the collective evolution that is happening. And when we see this influence, what it essentially is right now is like the sextile is this incredible opportunity window from March 27th through the 29th where discipline is going to support transformation. So it's hilarious. This is exactly where we're at right now. So, is there one thing in your life that you feel like you should really like where discipline is really going to help you? Right. We've got somebody in the comments saying making the commitment, right? This is the discipline. Can I make the commitment and can I stick to my own commitments to myself? And we are just set at such a prime time to have all of the stars supporting us. So like when we say like the universe has got your back, well, this is a big one. The universe has got your back in this. And like you have a much higher chance of succeeding on any discipline. And it could, like for me, it's going to be food. Think about it. It's almost like a New Year's resolution, right? We just got into like the new year, like astrologically speaking. So this could be your own personal New Year's resolution. Yeah, setting that self commitment builds trust in your body, right? That you are listening to your own body and you are listening to yourself. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and following through for your mind, body, spirit, and health for who you be, right? It's really big right now. And then the major aspect of this, I really want to say that this is not forced, right? We're not trying to force it. We're not trying to white knuckle it. It is very strategic, very, very strategic, very sustainable power building within this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just typing in the chat that this is the new way, and small micro changes are part of this new way so that you can test something, learn from it, and continue to make those micro changes while sticking to that discipline. Not that we put a stake in the ground and we continue to march forward if that doesn't fit with us, but that we are learning from it. And something the universe the universe card popped out specific to how we are caring for our bodies and listening to them so that we are building trust. The universe has our back. I don't know why the reverse shadow came up with this one. So I don't know if you're
This is
getting
for the
anything.
universe having our back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing, then this is coming in from earlier again. Again, just because it is upside down, just because it might be a negative aspect, those are key points. Like that's the universe having our back, right? That is literally the universe having our back. And we can sometimes see those as bad or like the universe is letting me down, or other people, we can go into a victim mentality for it, right? But with those cards specifically, like that shadow, your shadow has your back, your ego has your back. All of the things that you think are negative or bad or gross about you are actually really helpful for you and are here to teach you and help you. They are their own teachers.
And this
Yeah.
card specifically talks about the sun and the moon. So sun and moon,
Yeah.
which is the
You and
different
I.
aspects that you and I are. And what I always like to say is that maybe you've been following the sun, but now is the time to switch to the moon in
Mm.
terms of cycles. And maybe you follow the moon, and this is your chance to follow the cycle of the sun. There's a different message in that for you. I'm laughing at this stupid teacher comment.
Yeah, yeah, shadow, stupid teacher.
Stupid
So
teacher.
because I am so tired, I really would love to kind of like power through a little bit, if that's okay with you, Bonnie.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into Venus entering Taurus. It's interesting. So this is happening on March 30th. We've also got Mercury entering Aries on March 30th as well. The Venus in Taurus is going to be operating through April 23rd. The Mercury in Aries is going to be operating through April 14th. And what this is Venus entering Taurus warrior love becomes grounded pleasure. Oof, how yummy is that? Right? Warrior love becomes grounded pleasure. Ooh, take a breath into that because that's a juicy, that's like, that makes my body feel so good. And so what's ending up happening is Venus is shifting from her warrior goddess mode, which she's been hanging out in Aries, and she's going into that nice, gushy, like goddess earth energy Taurus. This is her home sign, right? So love is going to get really grounded. Pleasure becomes really prioritized. Like what makes you feel good? Like actually good, not like weird bypassy good. Like, like me eating an entire box of popcorn and junior mints may feel really good. But what actually truly makes you feel sustained and held in health? Um, Worth becomes non negotiable, and power comes through presence, not through pursuit. So this is like not a chasing energy. I remember a good friend of mine, shout out to my friend Kayla. We were sitting and she was telling me, she was helping me learn potentially some more feminine traits. And she was like, the feminine goddess doesn't go, oh, can somebody please get me my sweater? I'm feeling cold. The feminine goddess sits there and goes, mm, burr. And somebody just brings her sweater, which I thought was the cutest. Like, right? And then that is exactly what this is, power through presence, not pursuit, right? She isn't like really pursuing a thing. She's not going out there and like hunting down her own sweater. She's just going, I'm cold. Right. And I know in like a lot of like our tantra scenes and stuff that could be a little edgy for some people because we always teach people to ask for what you want, ask what your desires are. You can also ask it energetically as well and with subtlety, which I think was the cutest. And then since these are both kind of wrapped up together, I'm going to move on. Bonnie, are you okay with me moving on to Mercury entering Aries? Okay, cool. So Mercury entering Aries on March 30th. This one's going to be active till April 14th. And this is mind exits fog. Communication is going to start igniting, like really, really igniting. Mercury is finally exiting that Piscean fog, and minds are going to start waking up. Ooh, ooh, I'm getting a big hit on this one. This is happening collectively as well. Like when we're talking collectively, this one isn't just for the star seeds, guys. This one is for like the collective unconscious. So I don't know what's going to go down on March 30th. Something might go down that's going to wake a lot of people up really effing quickly. Really, really quickly. So what I'm getting told right now is be prepared, be grounded as much as you can, because you know us all that are in these spiritual practices are still going through our own things, and also like that's they're showing like the boots hitting the ground. It is the boots hitting the ground moment on March 30th. Really interesting. And so that influence window is going to be going like the strongest is the 29th, 31st. And mental clarity is going to come through. You've been waiting for since like mid February. Clarity is going to start coming back online with this. You're going to feel, and this is specific to one of you. You know who you are. There's one's very, very specific. I'm putting a pin in you right now that's watching this live right now. It is a big part because that will be the day that's really just going to go, oh, okay. And then you're going to move through. Yeah. And then grounded practice on this, make one clear decision on March 30th, right? Like we keep talking about this. It's making a commitment to yourself. It's making a sustainable practice to yourself. So yeah, it's the one who just posted that said, I hope it's me. Not yet, babe. I love you. Not yet. Sorry. There's somebody else in here. Yeah, the person that just commented. Also, I know their chart. They have a lot of Capricorn in their chart, and we're gonna still kind of be souping it out for just a little while longer. Just a little while longer. Oh my gosh. So Bonnie, that's what I got for those two. You want to come in and pop in and yeah.
Pop in, popping. I loved how everything you just shared in that circled us back to the very beginning of our call and how we're switching things up. We're putting down old weapons. The warrior love is now gushy versus fire. And this time that you're talking about on the 30th, I'm getting that it is powering up our inner fire and not just at the solar plexus. It's from our creativity and our passions. So it is in the sacral. So one of the practices you might want to do is clearing the womb or the sacral space so that your well of water has a clear path to be flowing and coming in to energize and work with the fire versus the land being swampy and not, I was hearing fruitile. It's just supposed to be fruitful. That's so funny. Why is that a word? It's
I
giving me
like
like
fruitile.
it's giving me Star Trek vibes for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, resistance is fruitile.
That's
It's the
exactly what
board,
it was.
man.
It's the board.
Resistance is futile. But that's kind of the spot, right? Is that resistance right? There's a surrender in that, right? So surrender is also fruitful, is what I'm getting from you
Mhm.
saying fruitile. You know me. I like brutal. It is so brutal, right? I love the dichotomous mixing of the words and fruitful. You would not think fruitful and futile would end up mixing so beautifully, but they do. It's like this
Yeah,
delicious word salad. God, I love it. Can we like mark that one down? Fruitile. Is the
fertile.
surrender to be fruitful.
Ooh, I love that. The surrender to be fruitful. That's fire. And it feels like surrendering. Again, going back to the first message. How are we moving in, with grace and ease, making that one step, that one decision forward towards our fruitfulness, our juiciness, our sexy, sexy time.
And that's bringing in that Venus and Taurus, right? That
Mm,
delicious groundedness. Well, we got one more aspect that's coming in here. And it's really interesting because I normally don't share this kind of stuff, but something called me to this week to really bring it in. And this is the post-equinox integration. And again, anybody that knows how to pronounce things better than me, the Sabian symbol, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. Tell me in the comments. And this aspect right here is the Aries season is like settling into its own roots. And individual consciousness is going to yield to more partnership style perspectives, right? So if you've been going it alone for a long time, this is a great time to open yourself up to more partnerships, to working in conjunction with other people, whether it's in a collaborative mode, whether it's in a mentee or mentor mode, whether it's in a community setting as well, right? If you've already been working with others in like a one-on-one aspect, maybe it's start to spread that out into community a little bit more as well and solidify some of these webs. They're showing me the webs, the mycelium, essentially, and creating nodes within that mycelium. Mycelium has nodes. It's really cool. Go look at mycelium. It's one of the prettiest things in the world. And what essentially this means is it's 1 week into our Aries season, like some real momentum, while others are still releasing old patterns, me being one of them. Hi. You may not be, but I am. Some of us are. And the Sabian symbol is two lovers strolling. I love that. What a beautiful picture in my head that makes. Two lovers strolling. And it's appreciating another's perspective, which will expand you. It doesn't diminish you, right? It expands you. Having somebody standing next to you can really help to expand you. And again, I know we're talking about lovers specifically, but that doesn't mean that that's necessarily, it has to look exactly like that. It can look like mentor mentee. It can look like colleagues. It can look like best friends. It can look like platonic relationships. And it can also be romantic relationships as well. So, yeah, oh gosh, this grounded practice for this one. I didn't even look at this one before I'm about to say it. It is stabbing my little ego self in the heart so hard right now, guys. Oh, oh. Oh, so the grounded practice this week is to have one conversation this week where you genuinely listen to understand, where you genuinely listen to understand someone's perspective. This does not mean to respond. This does not mean to tell them what they're doing right or wrong. This is genuinely asking why, who, what, when of them, and not filling your brain with any other fluff. And the reason I'm saying this is I've got two situations that are kind of like crunchy chaos bits in my life right now. And the answer to both of the situations is to do this exact practice. And I was really resistant to it because one of them's with a loved one. Um, and like when we get into this with like family members and loved ones, it can sometimes be a little bit more difficult. And I had to be held through me bawling my eyes out because I just wanted to blame shame. I just wanted to go into that triangle constantly, right? And so I got held yesterday by a dear my dear best friend and sister, and she was like, "Okay, if we are coming from an inquisitive place, what is it going to look like?" And I'm like, "Ugh, I don't wanna." So, if you can find the space, you don't have to go as extreme as doing it with a family member. It could be nice to just do it with a stranger, and just genuinely want to hear what their perspective of the world is.
No. And this goes back to that.
Brad's be out this week.
Hey, this goes back to having somebody reflect to you your magic. If we're if we're trying to respond to them versus listening to understand, it can be very hard to take it all in. So, reminding you as we close our time for today, take a deep breath, allow all the messages that were for you to land, anything that wasn't for you to dissolve away. And this time is about listening to yourself, listening to what is for you, listening to what isn't for you, not judging it, but understanding it.
Thank you, Bonnie, so much for that. And yeah, I am Io Ash Masako. I am your resident architect, void moon lady, and I am so, so, so grateful that you joined us this week. And I look forward to seeing you next week. If you are here live, remember that you can stay on. We will be doing an after hours checking in, just having a nice little cup of tea and hanging out for just a brief moment and a very brief moment. And yeah, and Bonnie
Yes, and Bonnie.
and Bonnie Sunshine.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you. I'm Bonnie Sunshine, the archer, the sun, the energetic ball of yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Me and my cats, Willow and Wolfie, are here for you if anything comes up. Same with you. Please come to school or drop it into YouTube chat. We'd love to hear from you and receive any reflections or anchoring anything that's come through for you for our time together.
I love to hear that. I Those are my favorites. I recently, because I did a bunch of readings this weekend. I really love when people like message me and they're like, "Oh, dude, the synchronicities drop." So if you got those, drop them. I love to hear them. It just helps expand the field. So yeah, thank you all for joining
Yes.
us.